As a child of the 80s, which I am, I can honestly say I'm thrilled to be meeting today's guest. He's played a charming vampire, a sensitive cowboy, a monster-loving army general, and as well as all of that, he saved the world on an annual basis from certain Armageddon. Hello, I'm Alex Zane and welcome to the guest list. Now, our star today is probably the best known action hero in TV drama, and despite a reputation as a bit of an enfant terrible off-screen, has turned in some of the most memorable performances of the past 3 decades. And I'm going to meet him over here. Season 4 of The Guest List presents an actor who's taken time away from protecting the world from fiendishly complicated terror plots to join me for some less fiendishly complicated chat. He's a lost boy, a renegade, a doctor, and has lent his vocals to a hit animation, which is rather handy since he's got one of the film industry's most distinctive growls. But today, he's joining me on The Guest List. Kiefer Sutherland, hello and welcome to the guest list.
Thank you very much for having me.
Hey, no, it's a pleasure to have you here. We've got so much to get through, but let's start first of all by talking about how the end is almost in sight for 24.
Yes,
at least on TV.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Are you going to miss Jack?
Well, it's a really bittersweet kind of moment. When I was looking back on kind of that last day, the entire day was. The crew was unbelievably funny. The other actors were funny. I mean, we had a really great day. And so through that day, you could tell there was a great sense of accomplishment. There was 196 hours. You know, it's the equivalent of 100 movies.
Chloe, it's Jack.
What's wrong?
We're under attack. I need you to put me in touch with whoever's in command of that unit.
Okay, it's Agent Ortiz. He's the head of field ops.
Is there a problem?
Yes.
Mr. Hastings, we have a situation we can pick up.
We're being pursued by 2 shooters. There's no way we're gonna make the precinct. We're in a building on West 21st, 3 doors in from 9th Avenue.
Yeah, I see it. Mr. Bauer, looks like you can access that room from the 8th floor of the building you're in.
How far out are you?
90 seconds.
Copy that.
Lock down access points to the roof!
You need to get him out of here. He's losing a lot of blood.
It's an honor to meet you. Thanks for doing this. Look, Hastings wants to debrief you back at CTU.
I'm not going back to CTU. I delivered him. I'm done.
But Mr. Bauer.
I got a flight to catch.
That's it?
Get out!
All of a sudden, on that last shot, the mood changed significantly. And I watched some of the toughest guys I know kind of break down. And I went to say a few words to the crew, and just what an honor it has been. And my lip went, and I had a hard time talking. And I was very surprised.
Did you cry?
I didn't get to finish everything I wanted to say.
I won't lie, I'll have a hard time dealing with Jack Bauer crying and giving a speech.
No, but I certainly had to look down at the ground. I couldn't look at the face. I mean, because I would have lost it in a heartbeat. When I started looking at the faces of the people that have kind of held me together for the last 9 years, I mean, just my debt to them is, well, I would never be able to pay it back.
Now, you've selected some movies for us today, which you've very much enjoyed in your life.
Yeah.
And the very first movie that we're going to talk about is from 1974, and that's Chinatown.
Mrs. Mulray, I think you're hiding something.
Roman Polanski's last movie that he actually shot in the US. What does it mean to you?
Well, I think Chinatown was one of the first thrillers that I ever saw. And I was just kind of coming of age. I think I might have been about 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there, where I was old enough to realize this was an adult film. I was old enough to really get sucked into the drama and the relationship and the romantic hope.
God. It's a nasty cut. It must be painful.
Your eye.
What about it? What?
Something black in the green part of your eye.
I was old enough to just barely understand the concept of corruption and that water in the city of Los Angeles was more valuable than oil. And that was a stretch for my wee little brain.
I know what you mean. It's a film that makes you feel quite clever when you're watching it, when you're young.
And Jack Nicholson's character was not the cowboy in the white hat. I mean, he was a tough, kind of dirty guy.
All right, mister. Who you with, the water department or the real estate office? Get away from me.
Answer him.
You come near me with that thing again, you're gonna need a pair of them.
Why don't you pick on somebody your own size?
I said cut that out. Give the man a chance, say something.
The names get us. I'm a private investigator. I'm not with either one of them.
He was, I think, probably one of the first characters that I had a great deal of respect for because he could take a beating. It wasn't so much about distributing one. It was about taking one, and that made him tough. And so it put a lot of things on edge for me that I had perceived as being kind of cool before. It was a real game changer for me. You know, I hear my dad talk about listening to the Rolling Stones for the first time and how that changed his perception of music. This was a real one for me that just made me really wake up and realize that I loved films, and it started something for me.
And I mean, you mentioned the relationship of Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway, and there's the famous scene where he slaps her, which they'd attempted several times, and in the end it wasn't looking right. So he actually slaps her in the face, and it's a very authentic scene. How far have you ever gone for authenticity? I mean, I know you do your own stunts in 24. Have you ever slapped a woman? It's kind of
as you were saying that, it was very funny. No, I never have. But on 24 specifically, Kim Raver and I had a scene. It was actually one of my favorite moments. And she slaps me in the scene. And I said, look, you know, haul off and do this. And she said, are you sure? And it was a really dramatic moment for her. And I didn't want her in the middle of kind of emoting all of this emotion to have to think about just missing my face or whatever. She can haul off and hit me. So we did about 6 takes. My face is starting to turn red, and you can see her handprint on my face. And it's a big moment for her. And John Cassar, our director, kept going up to her and going, if you want to do another one, just do another one. And she'd go, do you mind? And I'd be like, will someone ask me, please, because my jaw's about to drop off. So that was the one moment. But she hauled off and hit me for the better part of an afternoon. Yeah. But in all fairness, it really does. It certainly helped my reaction. Yeah.
Right, it's time for your next choice, which is a film that is probably defined by the phrase Wilson.
Yes.
And that's 2000's Castaway.
15 minutes!
Still away? I was making a picture in Prague, and very little English was spoken at that time. And so I had felt really quite isolated for this entire 3-month period. And I decided to treat myself, and they had built a really nice hotel, and they had television. And the movie that they were playing, which was quite ironic because it had maybe 8 lines of dialogue in it, but they were so cherished by me, was Castaway. And I don't think I would have normally had gone to see that film. I don't think, for a variety of reasons. And so